Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and being a producer of Wrestle Massacre as well as Inside Movies Galore, I am David Strege, and welcome to Delusions of Grandeur. Enjoy the reviews. I certainly did.
I'm setting the example. And what I've done is going to be puzzled over and studied and followed forever.
Yeah. Delusions of grandeur. You're no messiah. You're a movie of the week. You're a fucking t-shirt at best.
Okay, Dave, that's it. Screw you and your college flunkies. I've had enough of this from you and from everyone else. I know what you guys are trying to do. Break me down, drive me out of the force. Well, it's going to take a hell of a lot more than a lame prank like this to get Curtis Mooney to throw in his badge, so fuck you. Over.
Did you miss me? I guess not.
What's in my room? Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another exciting episode of What's in My Room. Hello. So I've got another 3 stacks of Dollar Tree pickups that I must get through because these stacks are enormous, and I'm not sure what else I'll be able to get through tonight, but I'm planning on going through the bulk of the Dollar Tree pickups and possibly my Russian Russico collection as well. So let me just get started here, and we'll see what's in store for us here. All right. So one of the first ones here, and I haven't even opened this one yet, is it stars Kristen Dunst, Zachary Ty Bryan, and August Schellenberg in a film called True Heart. This is one of the MGM releases that I don't think I've ever seen. And I guess this was an award winner of some sort. And it's directed by, looks like it's written and directed by Catherine Searin. Let's see what it's about. From a harrowing plane ride through snow-capped mountains to a perilous trek through the wilderness, this thrilling adventure will take your breath away. Winner of the Film Advisory Board's Award of Excellence for its excellent acting, beautiful scenery, and inspirational message, True Heart is riveting entertainment for all ages. Bonnie, played by Kirsten Dunst, and her twin brother Sam, Zachary Ty Bryan, from Home Improvement, are thrust into a quest for survival when their plane crashes in the treacherous Canadian backwoods. All seems lost until Conanesta, a Native American, arrives to help them. As he leads them back to civilization, the wise man teaches the teenagers the laws of nature and the meaning of friendship. But just when Bonnie and Sam seem out of harm's way, their adventure takes a nail-biting twist when evil bear trappers begin tracking them. So I'll definitely be checking this out eventually. I've never seen it, and sure I came across it at one point in time, but definitely not sure, but is interesting. Next, I have an action film called The Takedown, which this one was put out by Echo Bridge and SB Releasing, and it's directed by David Newton. When UK government hitman Jack accidentally kills the son of his target, he breaks his employer's no mistakes rule and becomes a target himself. Luckily for Jack, his boss Eastwood has been selling government secrets to the highest bidder, leading another agent, Hawkins, to give Jack a second chance for a new life with his daughter Amber. If he can take out his old boss within 12 hours, when commences is a race against time in London as various hitmen try to take out Jack before he can take out Eastwood. So it looks like it might be entertaining. Picked it up for $1, either $1 or $1.25. Not really sure, but here's the next one. Next, I have looks like Nick Nolte, Gene Hackman, and Joanna Cassidy in a film called Under Fire. This one is another MGM release, and it is directed by Roger Spottiswoode. And Gene Hackman and Nick Nolte deliver tour de force performances in this riveting jigsaw puzzle. Los Angeles Times. So Russell Price, played by Nolte, is a gutsy photojournalist who gets caught between his love for reporter Claire Strider, played by Joanna Cassidy, and his friendship with her husband, Alex Grazier, played by Hackman. He's also caught in the horns of a dilemma when he's asked to take sides instead of just pictures in the war between the Nicaraguan government and the Sandinista rebels. But when he loses sight of his objective and becomes involved in the skirmish, Russell could lose both his battles and his life as he comes under fire from all sides. So I'm definitely going to check that out. Looks like it might be entertaining or whatnot. Next, I have looks like Robert Patrick, Tommy Flanagan, Poppy Drayton, Alex McNichol, and Zegmund Zerenwald in a film called The Rising Hawk: Battle for the Carpathians. And this one is a Shout Factory release. It's directed by John Wynn. And it looks like it's evidently got an association with the Ukrainian Film Agency. The year is 1241. The Mongol horde, led by the cruel Burunda Khan, has grown into the largest empire the world has ever known. Destroying everything in its path, the horde reaches the Carpathian Mountains. There, a small group of village hunters band together to resist. Against the ferocious horde, the hunters, led by Zakhar, played by Robert Patrick from Terminator 2 Judgment Day, face seemingly impossible odds, but stand courageously to protect their village and their very lives. Based on a novella by Ivan Franco, The Rising Hawk: Battle for the Carpathians is a thrilling historical drama for the ages, featuring Tommy Flanagan from Sons of Anarchy Alice Duty from Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, Poppy Drayton from the Shannara Chronicles, to arms, the battle has begun. So this looks very entertaining. I'm looking forward to checking that out. Next, I have a horror film called The Rental. I know I saw this in Walmart, but this is another Shout Factory IFC film release, and it's directed by Dave Franco. Two couples on an oceanside getaway find that their celebrity weekend trip has turned into something sinister as an imminent threat forces them to expose well-kept secrets, and they come to see each other in a whole new light. Alison Brie from Community and Glow, Dan Stevens from Downton Abbey and Beauty and the Beast, Jeremy Allen White from Shameless, and Sheila Vand, A Girl Walks Home Alone at Night. Star in this unnerving and sophisticated debut thriller from Dave Franco of Neighbors, If Beale Street Could Talk, and The Disaster Artist. So that's kind of interesting. This is a film called The Rental. And it has a tagline on the front of a lean and brutal psycho for the Airbnb era. IndieWire says. So, not really a tagline, but in any case. The next one I have here is a film called The Last Descent. It's inspired by the true story of love and loss at Nutty Putty Cave. Looking at the director here, I think it says Isaac. Oh God, it's hard to see this with such dark. Isaac Halasima. When John Jones returned home from the medical school for a Thanksgiving visit with his wife and 2-year-old daughter, he could not have anticipated that his mortal journey, and it's really hard to see this. This looks like, I have to open this to actually read it. Sorry, folks. Daughter, he could not have anticipated that his mortal journey would end 28 hours later, 100 feet underground at the dead end of a popular cave. Despite the heroic efforts of rescue crews, they were not able to free John's body from the narrow tunnel where he had become stuck while exploring with his brothers and friends. But that doesn't mean John and others weren't saved in a real sense that day. The Last Descent proves the power of love and family can overcome anything, even death. So that actually does sound interesting. I'm looking forward to checking it out. Next, I have Martin Santander, Manny Hernandez, Carlos Palomino, and Yaquay Lopez in a movie called Street King Calzero. And there's a tagline on this that says he fights for his family and a better future. And it's directed by Ray Gallardo. And it looks pretty interesting. Looks like Infrastructure Productions 525 film. It's Plus Entertainment. Looks like the distributor. And here's the cover. It says, for Javier, running away from the tiny border town of San Luis Rio, Colorado, and his professor fighter father, Carlos Palomino, when he was just a teenager meant growing up on the streets of Tijuana uh, and being bred in the world of mafia-operated underground fighting. Years later, the grizzled veteran fighter known as Calajero and his quick-talking, ever-scheming manager, Jose, are faced with a dilemma: throw the next light or face the consequences of a gambling debt owed to the mafia. When things go awry, only a long-standing friendship with the man in charge keeps Jose and Javier alive, but they are forced out of the fight game and Tijuana for good. Irreparably damaged by all his years in the ring, Javier returns home alone, lost and broken, with nowhere else to turn. He tries to build a new life, forging a relationship with his father, his own wayward teenage son, and his son's mother, who he all but abandoned a decade earlier. And while nothing comes easy, the family bond begins to strengthen when Javier starts teaching his son how to box, keeping him off the streets and headed in the right direction. But ultimately, when Jose comes to town with an opportunity to train a talented young boxer and a chance at $100,000 purse, Javier is tempted to return to the life he left behind and torn between the need for money and his obligation to his family. So, it sounds intense. May check that out eventually. It's definitely word heavy on the back. So this is a film that I keep seeing in Dollar Tree posts. I guess it's called Spree, and it says Joe Keery Spree. The film is directed by Eugene Kotliarenko. It's put out by Dream Crew Entertainment, Spacemaker Productions, and Forest Hill Entertainment. So I guess Joe Keery is an actor. Says, meet Kurt, played by Joe Keery, a 23-year-old rideshare driver for Spree, who is so desperate for social media attention that he'll stop at nothing to go viral. He comes up with a plan to live stream a rampage as a shortcut to infamy, coining his evil scheme The Lesson. He installs a set of cameras in his car and begins streaming his rides, wildly miscalculating the popularity that would come from his lethal scheme. Kurt's desperation grows as he tries to find a way to overcome the plan's flaws. In the middle of all this madness, a stand-up comedian, played by Sashir Zamata, with her own viral agenda, crosses Kurt's path and becomes the only hope to put a stop to his misguided carnage. So there we have Spree. And you know, that world of ride sharing is scary. You know, getting in with someone to ride, you don't know who's really driving you. It's scary shit. You don't know whether you'll be kidnapped or what the fuck, you know. So, in any case, next I have Gabrielle Shepard, Adam Radcliffe, and Jessica Hines in a movie called Seagull. This was put out by Echo Bridge Entertainment and SB Releasing. And it has a tagline on the front that says, "Some secrets live forever." It's a film directed by Peter Block. And I'll definitely be checking that out sometime later. Next, I have one of the Japanese animated features that I ended up picking it up at Dollar Tree. I have not seen it yet, but it's called Satellite Girl and Milk Cow. It's from G-Kids, also from Shout Factory. And it looks like it is written and directed by Chang Hyung Yong. So, fancy chance of actually picking up a Japanese animated feature there. Looks like it might be cool. Oh, and I guess one of the bonus features is Coffee Vending Machine and its Sword as a short film. So, definitely curious about that one. Next, I have 2 copies of this. Let me get it from this other stack here. I ended up picking up Satanic Panic and Panic. They're both the same film. It's just Walmart got a little screwy and butthurt because of the satanic part, so they shortened it to Panic. Because they were massively scared that, oh my god, someone's gonna go satanic. But in any case, it's directed by Chelsea Stardust. Fangoria recommends it. Working with Media Finance Capital and Aperture Entertainment. And it looks like it stars Haley Griffith, Ruby Modine, Jerry O'Connell, and Rebecca Ramajan. Should be entertaining as fuck. But I got both titles because for some reason I just love collecting the woke Walmart copies of shit where I just kind of chuckle at the fact that they think that someone's going to be butthurt over the title or whatnot. It's just kind of hilarious. Here's another MGM title that I picked up called Richard III, starring Ian McKellen, Annette Bening, Jim Broadbent, Robert Downey Jr., Nigel Hawthorne, Kristen Scott Thomas, Maggie Smith, and John Wood. In this film that's directed by Richard Longcrane. It's based on Shakespeare, and I wonder if it's in Shakespeare language. I have not seen this, so I am curious about it. But I'm glad that I actually did pick that up. Should be entertaining. Next, I have this Pearl Harbor 75th Anniversary Collection, 40 Stories, Never Forget Our American History. And I guess it's got Crusade in the Pacific, Pacific Interruption, Payoff in the Pacific, Attack Battle for New Britain, Appointment in Tokyo, The Battle of China, Report from Aleutians to the Shores of Iwo Jima, with the Marines at Tarawa, The Battle of Midway, Kamikaze, December 7th, Know Your Enemy, Japan, Battle Line, Pearl Harbor, Recognition of the Japanese Zero, War Comes to America, and Attack on the Pacific. So, definitely, it looks like this might be cool. I thought about giving this to my dad, per se, because he's a war buff. Next, okay, I'm going to stray from Dollar Tree for a little bit. But this was a Big Lots pickup. Ended up picking up Paradise Hills. It's got Emma Roberts, Danielle McDonald, Aquafina, and Elza Gonzalez, and Mila Jovovich from the Resident Evil series. And it has a tagline of Rebel Against Perfection. It is directed by Alice Waddington, and it says a young woman is sent to Paradise Hills to be reformed, only to learn that behind the high-class facility's beauty is a sinister secret. So there I have Paradise Hills. Gonna check that out eventually. Next, I have a film. I have no idea what it's about. It's got Brighton Sharbino and Dominic Monaghan in a film called Radio Flash. This is a Shout Factory release. It's directed by Ben McPherson. Teenager Reese, Brighton Sharbino from The Walking Dead, has a love for virtual reality role-playing and a knack for beating even the toughest survival games. But when a nuclear strike causes an electromagnetic pulse that cuts off all power, water, and communication to the entire western United States, Reese finds herself plunged into an all-too-real fight to survive as pandemonium grips her city. Reese and her father, Dominic Monaghan, from the Lord of the Rings series, set out on a desperate journey in search of safety. A perilous trek through a world gone mad where every encounter with a stranger could be their last. Propelled with the ingenuity and resilience of its young heroine, Radio Flash is a harrowing, unpredictable, apocalyptic thriller that speaks to our precarious present. So here we have a movie called Radio Flash. Looks like it might be entertaining. Is Dark Coast Dark Coast Pictures, Decipher Entertainment, IFC Midnight, the whole 9 yards. Definitely going to be checking that out eventually. All right, here are a couple the two other Japanese animated features that I ended up picking up. Evidently, Penguin. Oh, actually, there's actually a third. Well, a fourth, actually. So, Penguin Highway. This looks like it's directed by. Let me see if I can see it. It looks like it's directed by. It's got several directors, but it's distributed by Elven Arts Anime Studio. But an association director is Kante Kame. Screenplay is by Makoto Ueda. Key associated directors are Akihiro Nage, Fumi Kato, Namiko Ishidate, Yu Yamashita, Kenji Fujisaki, and an assistant director is Yo Watanabe. I've heard that name a lot. Yo Watanabe, or whatever. It's hard to say these things, but yeah. I'm going to check that out eventually. Here is the third animation feature. This is also a Shout Factory working with G-Kids production. It's called Napping Princess. It's directed by Kenji Kamiyama. It says it's from the director of Ghost in the Shell, Standalone Complex, and Eden of the East. So it looks like it'll be fun. And I might as well pull out the trilogy animation thing that I found. At Dollar Tree, I found Donten. Laughing Under the Clouds Gaiden. It's a 3-film collection. This collection includes Chapter 1, 1 year after the battle. Chapter 2 is the tragedy of Fuuma Ninja Tribe. And Chapter 3, conspiracy of the military. And this is also a Shout Factory release. And it's presented by Laughing Under the Clouds Gaiden Production Committee. It is, let's see, it looks like the director of the animation is, it's by Wit Studio, the animation studio, and the director is Tetsuya Wakano. So it's been a year since brothers and shrine guardians Tenka, Suramaru, and Chutaro have defeated the legendary giant snake that threatened to destroy humanity. However, their lives are thrown into upheaval when they discover a plot to revive the evil serpent. So I'm stoked about finding this. I saw it at Walmart, and it came into the Dollar Tree that I work at. So that is pretty cool. Next, I have this World War II collection. It says on the front, it's Brothers in Combat. It's got 30 documentaries. It's got Big Battles of World War II and a Why We Fight series on it. Like the Battle of Germany, the Final Act, the Battle of the Desert, Sand, Sweat, and Tears, the Battle of Berlin, Death of a City, the Battle of Moscow, the End of the Road, the Battle of Berlin, the Russians are coming, the Battle of France, Blitzkrieg, the Battle of France, Defeat, the Battle of Italy, the Axis Broken, the Battle of Stalingrad, Death in the Army, the Battle of the Atlantic, the Supply Line to Freedom, the Battle of Britain, They Stood Alone, the Battle of Normandy, The Tide Turns, and the Why We Fight series, Frank Capra's Prelude to War, the Nazi Strike, the Battle of Britain, and the Battle of Russia. And then, of course, we've got some standalone documentaries called Desert Victory, Drop Zone Normandy, the Spreading Holocaust, the Battle of San Pietro. Here is Germany. Theirs is the Glory, Nazi concentration camps, the Hitler conspiracies, the rise and fall of Adolf Hitler, Warsaw Ghetto Attack, the Battle of New Britain, Combat America, World War II, The True Story, and the Great Battle of the Volga. So that should be interesting when I get around to it. Not sure how much I'll be into it, but we'll see. Next, I have an action film called Body Armor, which stars Chaz Palminteri and Till Schweiger. From the producers of Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. Keep your enemies close and your guns closer is the tagline. And this was put out by Image Entertainment and directed by Jerry Lively. So I'm looking forward to checking that out. Might be entertaining. So I guess this is a David Leo Schultz film called Brennan. It's a sequel to Ragamuffin. And it's got a tagline that says, God loves you as you are, not as you should be, because none of us are as we should be. So this was put out by Echo Bridge and SB Releasing. As a storm approaches the Gulf Coast, an alcoholic ex-priest, Brennan Manning, must rely on a troubled ragamuffin to get home to New Orleans to save his marriage before it's too late. So I'm looking forward to checking this out. I ended up backing up a copy of Ragamuffin since I didn't have it at the time that I picked this up. But looking forward to checking both of those films out. Here is another action film that looks kind of interesting. Henry Simmons, Sophia Brown, Joshua Elba, and Adam G. Simon in a movie called Synapse. The Future is a Memory. This is also an Echo Bridge SP releasing film, and it's directed by Kenlon Clark. In a future where other people's memories are the new drug, a federal agency called Synapse cracks down on illegal memory dealing. When one agent has the memory of a dealer swapped with his own, he must find the dealer's girlfriend to find out what happened to the past in the past month. As he switches between being himself, Nathan, and the dealer, Frank, he uncovers a government plot orchestrated by the Synapse agency and must team up with the dealer's friends to overthrow it. So that actually does sound kind of interesting. Next, I have a film starring Tim Wade, Emily Sweet, Matthew O'Donnell, Philip Wade, Alessandra Hellwig, in a Wade Brothers film called Mount Adams. Says, get ready to fight for the future. It's directed by Philip Wade, but it's written by Tim Wade. Ambition Pictures in association with Cold Trail Productions. Glenn and Lily are content creators who investigate unexplainable activity. Their next expedition is to Mount Adams, where locals claim to see weird red lights and strange dragon-looking creatures. A string of interviews suggests that it could be aliens, monsters, or demonic creatures straight from out of the Bible, terrorizing the mountain once a year. When Glenn, Lily, and their team go camping during the fated night, they come to discover the terrifying truth about what happens on Mount Adams. So here we have Mount Adams. That looks entertaining. Cool looking cover, though. All right. So this is another one of the... well, actually, I thought it was an MGM release, but it is an ITN distributed film. This is called Conversations with Other Women. I had not seen it. It has Helen Bonham Carter and Aaron Eckhart in the film. And it's directed by Hans Canosa. And it's hard to read the back. So you're going to have to check the film out when you get a chance to pick it up yourself. The next one that I came across is a film called Collider. And this one is put out by E1 Entertainment. It's produced by Daniel Ford and Brendan O'Toole. It's a film directed by Justin Lewis. Maya, a headstrong 17-year-old, lives in a hidden orphanage run by a secret organization called CID. When Maya is mysteriously attacked one night, she realizes that there may be more to her story, and CID could be involved. She confides in a scientist named John, who is her mentor and only friend. Together, they use a makeshift time machine to send Maya back in time to find her parents and uncover the truth about her past. Little does she know, her actions have caused a negative effect on her future, and everyone she's come in contact with is suddenly in danger. With CID on her trail, Maya must find the answers before it's too late. So here I have Collider. Definitely going to check that out. I love time travel. Next I have What If The Sixth Sense Was a Comedy? It's called Ghost in the Family. This is a film directed by William David Glenn IV. It's put out by ITN Distribution, producers of a Creative Lexington production. So, looking forward to checking that out. That might be entertaining. Next, I have an action film. Might be, yeah, a winter one. It's got Henry Douthwaite, Lara Lemon, Yvonne O'Grady, and Stephen Dion. This is Cinedigm film with ITN Distribution. It's directed by Glenn Kirby. An ex-SAS recluse living in the mountains of France to escape a traumatic past is hunted down by those whose lives he has destroyed. Hey, that's simple. That's sweet. That's all you really need on the back of something. You don't really need to go into any more detail than that, honestly. Next, I have a Sam Elliott double feature that I think I've heard of the first film, but I have not seen the second film. And it says, I Will Fight No More Forever and Dog Watch. And these were put out by Echo Bridge Acquisition Corp. So that might be entertaining to watch, some of those. Next, I have this urban acted film with Charles Malik Whitfield, Drea Michelle, Elise Neal. It's called We Belong Together. When Desire Turns into Insanity. This one is written and directed by Christopher S. Stokes. The writing is really small here. Professor Thomas Lewis is trying to put his life back together after his divorce. He's working towards earning his 90-day chip after suffering from alcoholism. That's when he is approached by a beautiful new student named Tracy, played by Drea Michelle, who soon makes her amorous intentions known to him. Though they have a passionate affair, Thomas decides to break it off for ethical purposes. Soon after, his ex-wife is involved in a car crash and ends up in the hospital. That's when Tracy's true, disturbed nature is revealed, to the horror of the whole family. So here we have We Belong Together. Definitely going to check that out. Though it does sound like something that would come on to time as a Lifetime movie. Next, I have a movie called Dystopia. And this has a tagline saying, Kill the past, save the future. It's directed by Paul Tainter, and I can't read that for anything. It's so dark. But definitely going to be checking that out. Looks like a futuristic apocalyptic type thing. Definitely up my alley. I love animal movies. So I ended up picking up this movie. It says 00 K9. It's from the producers of Avenger Dogs. Canine Intelligence has a new recruit. When Oddball, head of the Canine Intelligence Agency, CIA, learns of a villain's name, Sharpowski, and his elaborate plot to detonate a nuclear warhead to destroy the CIA and the whole galaxy with it, he has no choice but to call in Agent 00 K9 to solve the case. Things take an interesting turn when Oddball pairs Agent 00 K9 with Agent Hot Dog, a sassy and outspoken wiener dog, on her first mission. Action, adventure, and comedy. 00 K9 likes his tail shaken. So, looking forward to checking that out. Along with that, I've got John Savage, James Duvall, Chris Coppola, Blanca Blanco, and Brett Roberts in Mission Impossible. Or Mission Possible, actually. It's not Mission Impossible. It's called Mission Possible. And it says on the front here, these dogs have unfinished business. A group of kids and their lovable Shih Tzu dog, Alex, discover the secret hideout of a gang of puppy traffickers in the woods. Together they will embark on an unforgettable adventure to save the puppies, starring John Savage from The Deer Hunter and James Duvall from Donnie Darko. This is directed by Brett Roberts, so having him voice something in here isn't that far off, so I'm definitely looking forward to checking both of those puppet movies out. Next, I have 3 animated bug movies here. The first is called Best Bug Buddies, and it's put out by Brainy Bubbly Bug Buddies, I guess. Tiny Friends, Big Hearts. Join the best bug buddies for a bug-tastic adventure. Get a bug's eye view of the habits and habitats of actual insects. Learn incredible facts from some amazing little creatures that will fascinate and inspire. Jump into learning with your best bug buddies. It looks a little weird. Next, I have from Brainy Bubbly Bug Buddies, also, is a film called Hop on the School Bug. Get bit by the learning bug. Brainy Bubbly Bug Buddies presents Hop on the School Bug, a hilarious animated comedy from the producers of Boonie Bears. When these bugs get together, they're always laughter and love. Learn fun lessons from the critters down on the pond. Come with us and hop on the school bug. And another bug movie called Zap. Fly into the world of buzzing creatures. When the insects of the micro world get together, they learn their similarities and difficulties, and most important, what it means to come together as a team. Join these colorful micro friends as they learn about friendship and love. Get zapped with loads of fun in Zap. And it doesn't really tell me who the director is of any of these, so I'm just going to have to guess. Next, I have a film with Zach Galifianakis, Owen Wilson, Kirsten Wiig, and Jason Sudeikis called Masterminds. And it says, inspired by a ridiculously true story. And it looks like it's directed by Jared Weiss. Zach Galifianakis is armed and dangerously funny in this hilarious action comedy inspired by an incredible but true story. David Galifianakis is an unassuming armored truck driver who longs for adventure. Lured into the scheme of a lifetime by his beautiful work crush Kelly, Kristen Wiig, and her cohort Steve, Owen Wilson, David manages the impossible and makes off with $17 million in cash. But when his partners in crime keep the loot and set him up for a fall, David must dodge the authorities, evade a hitman, played by Jason Sudeikis, and find a way to take back what he rightfully stole. So here I have Masterminds. Gonna check that out eventually. Next I have the first season to a UK BBC thing. I think. It's called Humans. Never seen it. It says made in our image, out of control. Might be entertaining due to all that futuristic stuff. Looks like John Hurt, who just recently died. Or actually, not John Hurt, William Hurt. I'm glad I picked this up since I know that he just recently passed away. Rest in peace. Next, it looks like I have kind of a Western-ish looking thing. Because it's got Robert Davi, Paul Wilson, Chuck Zito, and Deborah Green in Mott Haven, Cash for Keys. Odd title. It says born and bred in the Bronx. This is an SB releasing put out by Echo Bridge Acquisition Corp. And it's directed by Michael Domino. Michael Roman is a business owner so stressed out and focused on work that he has forgotten how to enjoy his life. Everything changes when he meets Hal, a former radio mogul who has lost it all in the park. Hal and the other tenants living in his South Bronx building complex are being pushed out by their housing complex because of gentrification. Michael helps Hal out with his plan to leverage for the tenants to get $80,000 each out of the deal, and in helping these struggling tenants finds his lost humanity. So here I have Mott Haven, Cash for Keys, starring Robert Davi, Paul Wilson, Chuck Zito, and Deborah Green. So I think that's it for this episode. Definitely check out some of these releases, and hopefully I'll be back next week with some very cool releases. So that is all, folks. And like, share, and subscribe. And let me know down in the comments what you have in your collection. Thank you for letting me show me mine.
You were good, kid, real good. But as long as I'm around, you'll always be second best, see?